best part about that is the assets that we have. It's a very repeatable process. We've got more gas that we can bring online, and at today's oil prices as well, we've got an inventory of oil that we can bring online too. And again, the same theme stays true there. Our oil, we've got existing wells, we have existing facilities, existing egress routes, and that allows us to produce into that and grow production at very low cost.
All right, welcome back inside our proactive newsroom. And joining me now is Matthew Klukas. He is the CEO of Criterium Energy. And Matthew, it's good to see you. How are you?
Steve, great to be here and good morning. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, good to have you along. Excited to learn about what's been going on with the company. I know it's been really busy over the last little while and a lot more to come. So we'll get to that in a second. But first, tell me a bit about the company.
Great. As a bit of an introduction, Criterium Energy, we're a TSX venture listed company. Our focus is in Southeast Asia with upstream oil and gas. And we're building in our initial business in Indonesia, where we hold interest in 3 production sharing contracts, or PSCs. Indonesia is a great place to invest. There's strong domestic demand. We see premium pricing as well, especially in times like we're in here on both oil and gas. And we see a very supportive government. And I think this is for those that haven't looked too closely at Indonesia, it's encouraging to see a government and a population that is really demanding that domestic production increases. And we've seen statements from the government that look for oil and gas production to double by 2030. So it puts a lot of pressure on operators like us operating within the country.
Yeah, tell me a bit about those assets you have there and what stage they're at.
Yeah, great. So our asset and our strategy is really focused on production and development. And so across our portfolio, we have a lot of levers where we can create value. So our main asset is called the Tungkal PSC. This is where all our production is. We produce just under 1,000 barrels a day right now, and we're growing that with gas and diversifying, and I'll touch on that a bit later. We have the Bulu PSC. We have a non-operated interest in this block. It's an offshore gas development, and there we see a lot of potential in the near term to bring that closer to commercialization. And then finally, we have West Salawati. That's more development and exploration led, and as such, we're more focused in the near term on Tungkal and Bulu. But in West Salawati, there's a lot of upside potential there. We look at that as kind of an optionality within our portfolio.
Matthew, is the sort of the strategy within the company also about working the assets that are producing right now in order to fund the other assets and the development that you'd like to do in the future?
Exactly right, Steve. We're very cash flow led. So our strategy, we like to say we're focused on cash flow, and it's an infrastructure led strategy. And so that's looking at assets that are producing but could produce more. There's discoveries that need a bit of a catalyst to push, be that commercial or technical, to push that to become on stream. We see Criterium as that catalyst. And when I maybe give an example on what we mean by infrastructure-led development here, our oil field produces, as I said, just under 1,000 barrels a day. Just to the southeast of this field, a field called Southeast Mengoepeh, we'll look to bring this online using existing wells, existing gas processing facilities that are underutilized, and basically connecting this well to the processing and transportation facilities. So that allows us to, just to give some numbers to it, we're going to more than double our production here in the very near term when we bring on Southeast Mengoepeh at a cost of less than $2 million to the company. And so that's bringing resources online on a flowing BOE basis at less than $2,000 per flowing BOE. That transforms the company from a cash flow perspective, and it diversifies that. And we're able to do that and grow within cash flow. And the best part about that is the assets that we have. It's a very repeatable process. We've got more gas that we can bring online, and at today's oil prices as well, we've got an inventory of oil that we can bring online too. And again, the same theme stays true there. Our oil, we've got existing wells, we have existing facilities, existing egress routes, and that allows us to produce into that and grow production at very low cost.
Yeah, interesting strategy. Let's talk a bit about what's ahead, for the rest of this year and maybe into 2027. What sort of things should people be looking at from the company?
Yeah, great. Our near-term focus and these catalysts are diversifying and materially increasing our production. So bringing online Southeast Mengoepeh here in the near term, that more than doubles our production and should see us produce over 2,000 BOE a day. We then are going to repeat that process. I could list off the names of the fields, but I'll simply say we've got 3 more gas fields just like that within our PSC and Tungkal onshore that we'll look to repeat that. And then third is we're going to demonstrate a very clear deleveraging plan. Now we bought these assets for the assumption of debt. It's not bad debt. We're about 8% weighted cost of lending. Fairly good for a company of our size. But what we won't need to be able to demonstrate to shareholders is that we have a very clear path to deleveraging there. So it's for shareholders, the value proposition is quite clear. We can grow within cash flow, and at the same time we can delever. Yeah. And that again is presented to us because we have access to this infrastructure, and essentially the money's been passed by been spent by the previous operator, and now we can take advantage of that here today.
And just one last question on that, and as far as putting those new ones, getting them up and running, that's a fairly quick process, right? It's not something that takes years to come, and it can go fairly quick, right?
Exactly, Stephen. So we reached FID on Southeast Mengoepeh in Q3 last year. It will be online in less than a year from.
Wow.
And so, especially for Indonesia, historically, you've seen a lot of struggles getting gas developments online specifically. We're looking to break that mold here with Southeast Mengoepeh and then our future gas developments as well.
Wow. Sounds super exciting. Look forward to following the story as it continues to develop. Matthew, thanks so much. Really good update and good to talk to you as well. And again, an interesting story to follow.
Thanks, Steve. Looking forward to continue to provide updates as we continue to execute the story.
All right. Look forward to it. There's Matthew Klukas. He's the CEO of the very busy Criterium Energy.